Let's begin this episode with a little test. I will show you a 5-second counter here, and once it stops, I will then ask you a yes or no question. Ready? Go. Did you receive any information from this video in those 5 seconds? If you answer no, you're incorrect. And that's the whole point of this video. Information isn't just words on a screen. It's the numbers counting down, the music, the colors. All of it is information, and it's around you constantly in ways you might not even expect. Hi, my name is Vornight. Welcome to the show. In the past 7 videos, I have shown you some pretty wild stuff that can be done with some mundane technology. We saw how your Wi-Fi router can see through walls. We've learned how the LiDAR sensor in your Roomba can see sound vibrating on the surface of a trash bag. We even learned about how through a homemade device, we can listen in on someone's cell phone conversation from about 4 meters or 15 feet away. All of this was possible because every one of those devices was picking up on information that most of us didn't even know was there. And that's what I want to dig into today. When the majority of people hear the word information, they'll most likely default to thinking that information means things you can read, like words or numbers on a paper or screen. A valid understanding of what information can be, but it is ignoring all the sensory information that is around us all the time. Information can take many forms. It is not just the words you read or hear someone speak. Vibrations on any given surface, the heat coming out of your phone's battery, the smell you smell when you walk by a bakery, all of it is information. Here's where it gets personal. A lot of that information is about you. Biometric information is any characteristic that can be used to identify you from anyone else. The shape of your eyes, the way you hold your phone, your fingerprints, how your ear looks, and so many other points about the way you move can all be measured and utilized to identify who you are. Even if we disregard your biometrics, we can then rely on your online behavior. And I don't mean the way you behave in the comments, but the way you browse the web. How long you take in any given website before you go somewhere else, which websites you visit during the day, and how often you do so. All of it can be seen by your internet provider and sold to advertisers, or worse. Every time we use a device connected to the internet, we leave a unique footprint that gets aggregated to all other points of information about who you are in the world. This type of information has been available for quite some time now. However, it took human labor to read and categorize all the collected data points of information. Doing it at a global scale was impossible. Now, everything gets fed into an AI model, and in minutes, it can come up with a pretty accurate identification of who you are and what you like to do. A digital photograph that you innocently share with your loved ones on Instagram can contain embedded information about where and when you took that photo. Your car can collect data without you even noticing it. Again, something innocent has become a data point to be harvested. The most common use for all of this information is for you to receive targeted ads in anything you consume. Ads in your Instagram feed, your TikTok feed, YouTube Shorts, Google. Anything and everything you interact with that has some sort of internet connection can be fed your information to build a unique experience just for you. It creates echo chambers where you are fed information that only reinforces your point of view. That sounds awesome, but it disconnects you from reality, from your neighbors. It paints a false picture of what is truly going on outside your home and away from your phone. It provides those in power a way to easily manipulate you, no matter what your personal ideals might be. Isolation can be detrimental to your mental health or worse. We are living in the future. This is what it looks like. It's not flying cars or hoverboards. It is corporations extracting information from any and all devices that they can exploit. Information you didn't even know you were giving. Something like the gyroscope in your phone can already identify you solely based on the angle in which you hold your phone. Companies won't tell you this because it's not pertinent to the product, but it doesn't mean that it can't be tracked behind the scenes. While technology has advanced at record speeds, our laws are still lagging behind. Regardless of country or government, most of the people in charge are quite ignorant about how technology works. I'll give you an example. When I was graduating high school, I got a job at a university building a website for the professional department. I got hired for 3 months. The job only took me 1 month to complete. The people who hired me didn't know what it took to build their website and grossly overestimated the required time. I didn't care. I got paid for 3 months and only worked for 1. I told the dean about it, but there was nothing she could do. My contract was for 3 months, so I just kept showing up every day to just sit and play video games on a laptop. The vast majority of people in charge of what matters in our lives are just as oblivious to what technology can and cannot do. They make laws and policies based on their limited knowledge of the modern world. It is not entirely their fault. They're old and have had no need to learn about LiDAR sensors or beamforming. As Arthur C. Clarke once said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and that's the biggest hurdle for most of the aging generation still holding power. They just don't understand. My channel's mission is to provide you with a basic understanding of technology's capabilities and how they can be repurposed to track some part of you without your consent. Because once you understand that information isn't just words on a screen, that it's also your gait, your battery heat, the angle you hold your phone, you start to see just how much of yourself is out there. It might be alarming, but I hope that you at least leave here with some awareness. The more you know about the devices we use and are around us, the better off you'll be. Remember, knowing is half the battle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know this video is a little bit different to what I usually make, but I wanted to make you all aware that information is more than what we can hear or read. Again, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.